be having children because I don't think the world is good enough. I mean, obviously, look around you. I feel like once we're here, well, we're here, and quite often we can't do anything about the fact that we're here. So we might as well figure out how the hell to live our lives and figure out how the hell to survive in this world and to be our best selves, or to do what we can to affect the world, to affect change in the world, and so on and so forth. But I've often believed that if I didn't have to make this choice to be here and to do all these things, I would have been better off. And this isn't to be like a downer or anything, it's just me admitting the truth about what I feel. I have often felt like I'd have been better off to not be here. And I have tried to not be here and failed every single time. So I figured, well, I must be here for a reason, and whatever that reason is up to me, and I guess I'm just going to have to figure out how to stick around and make this shit work. I don't want to put another person in this position. I don't want to take that risk. I feel like, personally for me, and this is not to say that I'm against anyone having children. I mean, you might have children and your child or your children are the ones to make the much needed change in this world, because I'll tell you what, I'm very grateful I've come across many people in my life, and if they were not born, then I would not have come across them, and my life wouldn't have been affected the way that it has been. And yes, if I had not been born, blah blah blah, but I was born. I am here, and so I'm glad for the other people who were also born that I have come across, that have impacted my life in a positive way. So this is not me saying don't have children. If anything, it's more like, look at yourself, look at your reality, stop trying to fit into everybody else's narrative, and figure out whether or not having children is the best move for you. So it's not me saying don't have children or have children, or like, it doesn't really matter to me what you do, except if what you are doing is affecting the lives of children in a way that is unnecessarily bad. So if anything, I'd just be saying, look at yourself, look at what it means to be a parent, because I think a lot of people don't understand what it means to be a parent. They just give in to this whole idea that when you get older, you're supposed to have children and blah blah blah, you know, and whatever. And it just becomes like a pattern that is repetitive, but the thought doesn't really go into what it really means to be a parent. And many people believe that parenting stops at a certain age, and I don't believe that shit. I believe that once you're a parent, it doesn't matter what the law says, you have made the choice to be alive here, and you are now responsible for that life for the rest of your life. There is no time limit to when you stop being a parent. Yes, it's ideal to bring the child up to be independent, because that's healthy. It's health to be healthily independent, because there are certain levels of independence. I'm sorry, guys. I just keep feeling that there's something in my eye. Sorry about that. There are certain levels of independence that are quite unhealthy, and there are levels of independence that's defensive. That's like combative, and then there are levels of independence that's healthy in a ways that you just know that it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. However, a lot of things happen that may affect people in different ways, and every child is not the same. Therefore, you may have adults who are still not mature here to the point where they are able to take responsibility for themselves, or they may have some disability that doesn't allow them to take full responsibility for themselves at all times. They may need the help of other people. Whether that's mental disabilities, physical disabilities, doesn't matter. But sometimes it's not even a disability, it's just the fact that your childhood was so traumatic that you're stuck in childhood even as an adult. And that can be very debilitating, and it can affect you in different ways. Different people may experience and live through that differently. And in some extreme cases, you have people who just are completely dependent on their parents. And I don't think that's something to be judged, because who knows, maybe that person doesn't want to be completely dependent on their parents, or who knows what affected them. And those questions about the who knows and the whats, and no one has the answers to it, because everybody thinks they have the answers. Everybody thinks they know why. But you never truly know why until you're living and walking in that person's shoes. Because sure, you can say, I've been through this, but I have never reacted that way. But you are you, and this person is someone else. And no two children are the same. I think it's a careless thing to treat your child like everyone else treats their child. In some ways, that's neglect, because you're not considering your child as an individual that requires individual attention and guidance. Instead, you're trying to create this person from this idea of who you think a person should be, based on everybody else's idea of who a person should be or what they should aspire to. And because I'm aware of that, I'm also aware that if I should become a parent, it's what I have learned. It's what's normal around me. Even if I know different, I don't know enough to know that I won't inflict the same kind of mental and emotional and physical trauma on another person that I gave birth to. So therefore, because I don't know enough to know that, for me it would be a risk to have that child and just see where it goes. And I'm sorry, a child's life, a child that will eventually become an individual, a human being in the world, an adult, for me, that life is way too precious to just be taking risks with and just leave it up in the air. And that's in my opinion. And because this is my mindset, this is a part of how I've developed mentally based on my personal experiences and what I've observed. I know that I won't be having children, and I am making the best decision to not have children. This isn't to say that this is your story, but it could possibly inspire you to consider these things, to consider the fact that you need to be committed. You don't just decide, okay, I'm going to have my child now, but in 18 years they're going to have to just be out there. They just have to be out there and be independent. You have to provide them with the tools to do so. And the tools that you believe you're providing them with, when you're barking at them, when you're abusing them physically, when you're toughening them up for the real world, and so you put them through some things that they don't need to be put through. And you're not taking care of your responsibility as a parent to guide, to nurture, to protect your child. But instead, to put responsibilities on your child that don't need to be their responsibilities at all. Saying that you're preparing them for the real world. Even if they are independent at 18, it can still leave them with parts of themselves that are not fulfilled, that should have been nurtured, that should have been fed, that should have been loved, that should have been protected. And they walk around with that out of place, and they don't know how to put it in place. So as much as they are independent, they might not be the most healthy. And so they enter into other toxic arrangements, and they don't learn certain lessons, and they keep repeating the same mistakes. Parenting is more than following a guideline or a guidebook. It's very individual, and it's very personal, and it requires your commitment from the get-go. And if you're not ready for that commitment, then don't be careless with having children. I beg you. No child deserves that. No human being deserves that. And if you feel, well, I've been through shit, but look how I've come out, and so what? My child will have to go through shit too. And you've never had children, and that's your frame of thought? Please think about it before you have children. Let your experiences teach you how to do things differently should you have children. And be open, be completely open to learning. You can learn from your children. And you can learn how to parent your child from your child. But you have to be ready to accept that and to be open to learn that. And I just feel like if you're not ready, then maybe you shouldn't be having children until you are. Another reason why I won't be having children is because I have also been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and I have great bouts of depression and anxiety. And I have seen through my observations how a lot of who I am and how I react to stuff has been influenced largely by patterns within the bloodline that I am a part of. And it's just been passed on through bloodlines. And it's a very difficult thing to face and to admit to know that you're a toxic person. And having borderline personality for me means I'm automatically toxic. In whatever situation, in whatever relationship, I'm automatically toxic. My default is toxicity. And it takes effort, it takes work, it takes so much for me to not be toxic. And in many ways, I don't know how to be anything other than toxic. In fact, I didn't even know some things were toxic until I had breakdowns mentally and had to sit down and figure out what the hell is happening, why do I keep having these mental breakdowns, what is going on, and then being able to look at what is normalized in the environment that I grew up in, and how what is normalized in the culture that I grew up in, and how that's affected me, and how what I'm doing potentially is definitely affecting others, and how much of a cycle that is, and it just keeps going. It just feels like a circle. I feel like sometimes I'm living in a constant circle, and I hate that. I don't want to keep living in a circle. And that's why it's important for me to, if I can't do anything else good in this world, I can leave this world feeling good enough, knowing that I did not have children, because I don't want to be the reason for another person's trauma. I have been the reason for another person's trauma, and that shit is fucked up and it's hard to live with. It is. And I wish that certain experiences didn't happen to me, but they fucking did, and there's nothing I can do about it, and I just have to live with it. And there are certain experiences that I have projected onto others that have been a part of their trauma that I wish I fucking hadn't. But you always look at things in hindsight, but you cannot change it once it's happened. It's already done. So you have to live with it. And being here automatically means that no matter how hard I try, I am going to be toxic in relation to other people. No matter how much books I read, how much articles I read, no matter how much effort I fucking put in, there's nothing that is going to guarantee that I won't be toxic to someone at some point. No matter how healthily I try to relate to others, no matter how much I try to educate myself on how to treat others in a healthy way, my default is toxicity. And so my relations with people will, in some way, maybe not to the extreme that it could be because I'm working on it, but some of that poison is going to leak out, because I am toxic. Having borderline personality disorder makes that so. It helps if people understand, but people don't have to understand. They're not obligated to. They should just be free living their lives. The part they care about me and my toxicity for, it shouldn't be their responsibility. It should be mine to know that this is how I react. So maybe I should control myself. But it's easier said than done. And it sucks to admit that I don't have complete and full control over myself. And because I know that, I can't choose who interacts with me or who I interact with all the time. People just pop up in my life sometimes. I live in a place where I'm surrounded by, I would love to lock myself away. Trust me, I've thought about it. I've thought about just putting up something and just living in that, like, just putting a piece of board across here and locking myself in this tiny 2 by 6 foot space, just so that I can protect people from me and I can protect myself from people. And it will be my only prison because I always felt imprisoned any fucking way. But that's not reality. And if I do that, I can only get worse, not better. And if I get worse, that doesn't help anybody. It don't help me, I don't help the people around me, and I cannot help being around people. And as long as you're alive, you are vibrating on an energy, and that energy is affecting everybody. Even if you isolated yourself all the way into a place where no one even knows you exist, for the simple fact that you exist, you are vibrating on an energy that is affecting every single soul. And so the fact that I am here means that there's no escaping that. And a part of that sucks, but a part of that also gives me a sense of purpose in some way. It sucks and it's frustrating because I often wish I could put myself in an invisibility cloak so that I could have complete control over what reaches me or where I am, and taking myself out of situations I don't want to be into and just escaping shit. I've also felt extreme guilt about being as poisonous as I am and feeling like people do better off without me and trying to escape. But every time I try to escape, I fucking fail, and when I fail, I become worse, and when I become worse, I become more of a burden to the people around me. And I've witnessed that within myself, and I don't want to try again, and to fail, and to only end up self-sabotaging. And self-sabotaging doesn't just affect yourself, it affects people around you. Because energy. So I figured my best hope is to try my best to figure my shit out and to allow myself to vibrate on a less toxic level, a less toxic, a less poisonous level, because I'm aware that my energy will affect others the same way other people's energies affect me. It is a ripple effect. No one lives solely just for themselves. And And in that sense, it gives me that sense of purpose that if I'm going to be affecting people anyway, what can I do to not be such a toxic, poisonous, shitty individual? How can my vibrations of energy lend some sort of positivity in whatsoever shape? But I have to make that choice because I'm here. And people unfortunately are exposed to my energy because they're here and I'm here and we're here together. But a child who has not been born, what do I need to be bringing them into this shit for? Me. What do I need to be bringing? Listen, not only can I pass down toxic genes that have been recurring in my bloodline for centuries, just repeating itself. Not only can I pass down those toxic genes and patterns, I can pass down my own toxicity that I have also developed. And I can pass down my mental illness, and I can pass down a whole lot of shit. And yeah, maybe, just maybe, on the off chance, my child could be the one to turn things around and to change the patterns and to be this beacon of light that affects positive change. You know, there's a 50% chance that could be the case, but there's also a 50% chance that my child could be that neglected person that you walk that neglected person that I may walk past. I don't know why I'm not able to speak. Walk past on the street, who have never gotten the care that they needed in childhood, who didn't know how then to care for themselves in adulthood, who became so broken that they have no care for themselves. They disregard their own life, living on the streets, out of their mind. Having no one to help them. Because the people who were supposed to be there for them didn't take care of their own shit before they had them, projected that shit onto them, and then neglected them and abandoned them. And that extreme is too much of an extreme for me to take any risks with. And because of my mental illnesses as well, I am unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen from this day to the next. And that is just life in general. Even if I figure my shit out, I can't protect them from the world outside of me. Because if I lock them in to protect them, that's only damaging them. But if I let them out, I can't control what happens to them. And so, why in the world would I, when you decide to put a child in my presence and in the presence of others when they could be spared all of this shit. A lot of people say that's not my choice. A lot of people say that I'm selfish. And yeah, I'm selfish. I don't want that responsibility. I don't want the responsibility of a child hanging over my head, because having a child is more than just being able to provide food for them or shelter for them and changing their pampers and sending them to school. Those are basic shit, but that it requires so much more than that. So much more than that. I don't even know how to put that into words, how much more it requires, that I don't think and I don't know. I definitely know I don't have that in me to give. Even if I did, the world's too fucked up. So they say that we choose our parents, some people say. They say we choose the lives that we live. They say we choose this reality. We choose to come here and to experience the things that we're experiencing. And if that's the case, then my choice to come here taught me why. Not bringing children here is not. It taught me why not having children can be a great option. It taught me how to put the life of someone that I don't even know yet, who I don't know if they exist yet, in some angelic form that they're going to come through. I don't know how the shit that works, or if they don't exist yet, and then boom, I go and create them and with someone else, and then fucking hell, here they are in this bullshit that they didn't choose. I don't know. That uncertainty isn't it. It isn't enough for me to make that decision. I'm sure I was saying something before that, and then I said that uncertainty, and my mind went blank about what I was talking about before. But yeah, there are too many factors at play anyway that it just doesn't make it worth it for me. And seeing it's not my choice because we choose who to come here, and somebody might have chosen me, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. It is my choice as well. And I'm sorry, I've said this before and I'm saying it again. I've come here and I've learned what I've learned. And it's not that I'm not saying, hey, you should also come here and you should learn what you need to learn for your soul to evolve. Not saying that at all. All I'm saying is don't choose me to do it. My room is not up for any of that. So please take your knocking elsewhere. Take it to somebody else's home, because I am not the one. I won't be taking that risk with your life. And I'm not going to be that careless. I still have a lot to do to heal myself as well, and yes, I'm going to be selfish, and I'm not bringing a child into this world to fuck their lives up and to fuck my life up even more, because I have not healed yet. I still have a lot of shit to work on. And bringing a child into the world while I'm this fucked up, means I don't care that much for myself either. And if I don't care about myself, how the fuck am I going to care about someone else? You see, it's all a ripple effect. It all connects to each other. And I think it's unfair to a lot of children who could have been spared the fuckery that is this world. But I'm not saying they don't have the right to be here and to have their souls evolve as well. They completely do. And maybe the parents that had them were meant to have them. But going forward, I'm just asking that you think about it. Because it's not just about you, about whether or not you want to have children and what you want your child to be like and what you want your child to do for you and what you want your child to do in this world. When you have a child, it's not about you anymore. That child's life is not about you anymore. So stop trying to project that shit on the child, because you're fucking up children. You're fucking up children and you're fucking up adults. And you need to stop it. You need to stop it. So consider, before you go and decide you want to have a child, consider everything. Work on yourself first and don't get too cocky with it. Be confident, because you can lose your confidence, but don't be too cocky with it. Be humble and confident. Be open. Be willing to learn. Be willing to listen. So how are you going to teach what you haven't learned? And if what you've learned is toxic, why would you want to teach that to your child? Work out your shit first before you have children. And then when you work your shit out, consider the commitment it requires to be a parent. It does not stop at 18. It is your responsibility for the rest of your life. And if you should pass, you should be able to pass knowing that that child was nurtured the way they needed to be nurtured. So that even without you, they have a strong sense of self. Not by your standards, but just by growing the beauty that is them. And I don't know how to say that any clearer. I don't know how to elaborate on that, because I really don't know what the answer is with regard to your personal situation and your personal child, your individual child. But just know that your individual child requires, they have you as a parent for a reason. There's a reason you brought them here. So stop trying to mimic what everybody else is doing and parent your child. And stop abusing them. Stop whipping them like your slave masters and they're your slaves. Learn to be able to think on your own, but also be able to listen and to learn from your child and from people around you. And when you learn from people around you, when you copy and paste, it means you take information and you apply it to your particular situation. Your child needs your ear and your empathy. They need you to listen and to understand where they're coming from. And they need you to not make it about you all the time, because it's not always about you. And your child, just because you gave birth to them and they're your child, you don't own them in the sense of, well, they're mine and I can do what I want with them. No. They're theirs. You have them, but they are theirs. They own themselves. Your job as the parent is to help them learn themselves, help them to understand themselves, help them to develop themselves, and to be there to pass down lessons to them and to also learn from them, because there's a reason why they are your child as well. You both have things to learn from each other. You both have things to teach each other. So be open to that. And stop acting like you're the know-it-all and the be-it-all and everything you say, that's how it goes and done. That shit needs to change. Respect goes both ways, and it goes to our children as well, and it will come back toward you, because they are learning from you. And this is why I will not be having children, because I don't want to be the reason anybody's fucked up, but I can't fucking control what is out of my control when it comes to other fucking people around me and me being around other fucking people. What I can control is not bringing an additional fucking person in this shit. That's what I can control. So I won't be bringing anybody else into this shit. That's not my duty and that's not my job, and I came here and I feel like that was a part of my lesson to learn. But I don't need to be bringing, like, I can play my part in not passing on this toxicity that has been there circulating like a bad odor throughout my bloodline. I can play a part at least in not bringing another person into it and passing that shit on to them. I say you can pass the good stuff on to them, but with the good stuff comes the bad stuff. And sometimes the bad stuff can fuck you up so much you don't even see the good shit. When you're here, you have to deal with that, and you have to figure your way out through that, with or without help. What the fuck am I bringing someone else here for when they can be spared it? That to me does not make any sense. So I personally have taken that stance. But this isn't a public service announcement for anybody to not have children. Because I'm not saying that at all. You may have the child that is the change this world needed. You may have the set of children, like a group of you have different children. It don't just be your child. It can be a bunch of you guys coming together, having children, and all of your offspring create the change this world needs. But also consider that you could also be having a child who could be the person sleeping on the street. And in a situation like that, what are you willing to do for that child that is yours that could be sleeping on the street? And when you ask yourself that question, decide what your answer is, and based on that answer, decide whether or not you should be having children. Because the responsibility is now yours. And if you don't provide that nurturing that the child needs, that fulfillment that the child needs from you, then the child won't learn how to properly take care of themselves. They might mimic what taking care of themselves look like. They might get a job, they might get some money, they might move out, they might have this and that, and everything looks great, and it is mimicking it. But the slightest thing could just switch because of all the shit that was not tended to. That is your responsibility as a parent that you've neglected. And that thing or set of things that could go and land them on the street, you as a parent or the potential parent need to consider that before you have children. And say, yeah, my child could be the next genius. My child could be the next person that changes this world in the way that it needs to be changed. But my child can also be the person that needs me for the rest of their life. And the way how they need me might not be visible to me. It might not be physical, it might be mental. What am I willing to do as a parent in that situation? And if you're not willing for that whole commitment, if your child has to be a certain way or else, then you're probably not ready to be having children. Just be responsible, is all I'm saying. Yeah, I will be having children because I know, I have considered these factors, and I know that I cannot guarantee shit. I can't guarantee that I won't flip and react in ways that I have grown up and seen, that I have grown up and experienced, that have affected me in ways that are not positive. I can't guarantee that I won't react in that same exact way when I fly into a rage. And even if I try my best and I don't react in that way and I do everything healthily, that one time could come where I fuck up. And that one time to me is not worth it. Because that one time could have such adverse effects on that child that I cannot take back. And I'm not willing to do that to a child, and I'm not willing to put any child through that. Because no one should ever live through what I've lived through. And no one, and what I've been through isn't even the worst of the worst. There are people who have been through so much worse. And that's what makes it fucking sad and fucking devastating. No child should have to live through some of this shit. And since they shouldn't have to live through some of this shit, that's what I believe. I can play a role in not bringing each other in this shit. You best believe I'm playing that role. And that's my stance. What's your stance?